we have a depth of knowledge charts where it talks about how deep we're going in our lesson. So level 1 is a recall where you basically remember what you've done before. Level 2 is a skill or concept that you're learning. Level 3 is strategic thinking, and level 4 is extended thinking. Hopefully by the time you leave me, you can strategically think. Hopefully. Okay, that's our goal, is to be able to strategically think and think for ourselves. Now, measure and classify angles, you've done this before, so this is like a level 1, level 2. We're going to bump it up a little bit and try to make it a little more engaging and get there. You can write that. Do you like to write DOK1? That'd be great. This is a DOK1 today. Super easy. Now, we're going to start by defining things, and then we're going to create some angles. You're going to need a protractor. So if the person closest to the tower can get everybody a protractor, that would be great. And not make a whole lot of noise while doing it so that we can keep going. Now, does anybody know what a ray is? Besides a drop of golden sun.
Is it like one dot and a line?
One dot and a line. Take a point. Now, Mazzaro, how would you define that instead of... Where are you going? Yes. You only got one protractor? Does anybody have extra protractors? Does everybody in your group have one?
No.
Stop touching each other. Can y'all just share your protractors? Okay. All right. Now I'm not going to have one, but I'll borrow Eric's. Okay, so a ray is a point with a line that goes across. Can you tell me what that point is called? Starts with an E. That's not anything. Okay. It is part of a line with one end point. That's the word I wanted. End point. And except you said weird noises. And extends infinitely in Blair, one direction.
When you talk about yourself in the third person.
Sorry. Alright, so a ray is a line, or it's part of a line. It has an end point and it extends infinitely in one direction. You should be writing. You wrote that fast. When I just finished? You're a ninja. Alright, so everybody put an end point. Put a dot. Put a point. We're about to talk about that. And draw me a ray. Do we want it to go? Let's make it go to the right. And you should have a straight edge, so you can make a straight line. And not the curved chaos that I usually end up drawing. Alright, now, do we need to put a letter and name this endpoint?
Yes.
Alright, so what do we want to call it? Okay, stop!
I said E.
That's too much. That's too much at once. Now, this is ray R, but do we know which direction it's going? We know it's going to the right, but do we know it unless we name it? No. So, put another dot, call it a T. And then you write it as RT, and you only have one arrow over it. So you have a segment with one arrow on the end. That's how you name a ray, girls. Does everybody understand? That's all you have to do. Isn't it amazing? Now, what do you think opposite rays are? They go in opposite directions, right? Now, would opposite direction be going right and then left, or would it be going right and then up?
Right and up because the opposite direction is not that way.
What is opposite direction from me facing this way? This way?
Yep.
So that's not up, right? That's above. So what would my opposite direction of my ray be? Left. That's it. That's all you have to do. So it is.
That would be more complicated.
Oh, it's not. This is the easiest stuff. Two rays. Do I? Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, two rays that share an endpoint and create a line. Super fancy, super crazy. And if multiple points are on the same line, what are they called? We learned it last week. Collinear. Take a point. Collinear. It's not collinear, y'all. Collinear. Now, this is what it would look like. Are you ready for this craziness? Put a dot. I'm sorry, your colors don't have to match mine. Are you one of those people?
Yes.
Oh,
Now I can't find it. No.
it's right there in front of you, baby. Is that? Oh, it's green. All right, put a dot. Now, we need a ray going to the right, and we're going to call it ray T. Ray ZT. Collinear rays, opposite line rays, means we need another one going to the left, and we could call it S. And that's it. That's I even said collinear. Christian, collinear rays look like this. Opposite rays look like this. It's just a line. It's nothing magic. How are we feeling so far?
Good.
I hope so. Are we ready to talk about an angle? Remember, the quicker we get through it, the quicker we can do homework, and then you don't have any. So let's rock and roll. An angle is, now, does this make an angle or does this make a line? That makes a line, and that's not an angle, right? So these are collinear rays. What would an angle have to be?
More than 180 degrees.
What would if these are two collinear rays? What would an angle have to be? Can they be collinear? So it's called non-collinear? I'm not asking for anything crazy, y'all. So it's two non-collinear rays. That's it. That's all I want you to tell me. May I borrow your protractor? Thank you. I wasn't asking you. Now, they have to share an endpoint. So we're going to put an A here. And I'm going to use my straight edge. And I made an angle. Oh, I'm going to need this for just another second. Well, you can use it for now. Sorry. I got excited. Now, how many points do you think we need to be able to make an angle? How many points do we need to make that ray up there? We needed 1. How many points do we need to make this ray?
1, 2.
2. So how many would we need to just make that bottom ray?
2.
How many did we need to make this ray? 2. So how many do we need to make this ray? Okay, that's all I want. Everybody do that. Put a dot here and call it C. Now I need another point up here, and I'm going to call it D. And the reason is, what if I did this? Yes. And I called it E. How many angle A's do I now have up there? 3. Take a point, Taylor. Why do I have 3? Where's the first angle? Raise your hand, don't scream it out. Eric.
The first one is AC. Oh no, AD. Oh no, AE.
Oh my gosh. Okay, if I tell you that when you name 2, that's not an angle, don't you think you need another?
Oh, A.
Oh my gosh. Okay, there are 3 different angle A's, right? We have this one right here, we have this one right here, and then we have the whole thing. So angle CAD is this baby one, right? Angle DAE is the one up top. And what is the name of the whole thing? So how many letters do we need? 3 to name an angle. Because if I said, tell me the measure of angle A, you have 3 different options, right? I want you to be specific. Does everybody understand? Now, what do you think a vertex is? What is a vertex? Because we're just kind of like muttering stuff. And we start off strong, and then we stop. And I'm not real sure what's happening.
Is it a vertex immediately to
Like A.
Yeah, like a.
So it's the common endpoint of 2 rays. Is that what y'all are trying to say to me?
Yeah.
Something like that? Okay, can we start saying it like that? Because angle EAD and DAC have a common endpoint of A, right? Now, if a vertex is the common endpoint, so the vertex of DAC is what? A. What would, bless you, what would sides be? What would that be? It would be AC, right? And AD, right? What are those? Rays. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm not asking you for anything super complicated. But if you keep talking while I'm talking, you're not going to understand what's happening. So if I tell you that a vertex is the common endpoint of 2 rays, and I ask you for the sides of that angle, it's the what? What makes up the angle? The rays. The rays. Sweet baby Jesus. The rays. So sides are rays that create an angle. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Name for me one of the sides of angle EAD. AD, Ray AD. Take a point. What's another one? Take a point if you said AE. Now, why is AC not included in that? Because it's not part of the angle. Take a point, Gryffindor. Good job. Now, what is a degree? Moving on, moving up. What is a degree?
That is something of an angle. That's 360.
The measurement of an angle. Yes. You get a weekly grade and then a monthly grade. Now, this is where your protractor is going to come in handy. What you do, to find the degree, you take your protractor. You put the circle in the middle on the end point. And then you line up that bottom ray with the line on the protractor. Is everybody with me? So then you can do it 2 ways. You can extend your top ray, or you can take a piece of paper and just line it up. This angle is at this bottom, and that's 40 degrees. So we do it from the bottom numbers, not the top numbers. Does everybody understand? So you line it up, you extend it all the way across, the measure is 40. So now you take your protractor and measure your angle. Line this up with the bottom of the ray. Do you see how it makes a moon? Line it up with the bottom of the ray. You may have to share protractors. And then write the measure of your angle inside. So mine was 40 degrees.
Just A, AD.
Just CAD. just angle CAD, and then share your protractor when you're done. It would probably be helpful if some of us bought protractors. Used to be Elsa. Alright, are we ready? Why? Oh. Not you. Does anybody need help measuring their angle? Okay. You don't know if it's right? You put the dot on here. And you line this up. Okay? And then we're going to take this and we're going to extend it. So yours is that. Look at you go. That's it. That's it. Do you need help, baby? You got it. Oh. Do you need help because you're lazy or because you don't understand? So you extend your top right. What degree did that hit? The bottom. Is it 50 or 51? 50. Okay, then you're at 50 degrees. What just happened? Do they? Oh. I feel like that would be odd for me. Alright. Does anybody else need help measuring their angle, or can we move on to interior and exterior? What do you think interior means?
Inside.
Inside. So would it be inside the angle or outside the angle? Look at us go, children. So interior are points inside an angle. So what would exterior be?
Outside.
Look at us go. Take a point.
Angle.
Points outside an angle. Ah, Blair. I just wish I didn't make so many mistakes. Now, what I would like you to do, using your straight edge, I would like you to draw me an acute angle right here. No, we're just doing this. We don't have time. Real fast, draw this. I was going to give you a chance to make them on your own, but we got no time. We got things to do. So if points are inside an angle, where should I put my points? Should I put them here? 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 Is this inside this angle?
Yes.
So I could put one here, and I could call it A. What about right here?
Also.
What about right here?
Yeah.
That's interior points. It's magic. What about exterior points? Should it be inside right here? Outside over here?
Yes.
All right. E. F. Those are our exterior points. Dun, 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 dun. Are we ready? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more words to define, and it is super easy, so let's rock and roll. Y'all ready?
Yes.
We're going to write the rest of these on 5V. That's why we left that blank space, because for some reason when I made our vocab sheet, I did not put these words on there, and I don't know why. So we're going to write more vocab, y'all. She wasn't kidding.
More goals.
I wasn't kidding. All right, you ready? The first one that we're going to define. Well, come on, baby. You're taking forever. Talk less, write more. Ignore him. Come on. The first word that we're going to write is a right angle. What is a right angle?
Something that's 90 degrees.
A 90-degree angle. Fantastic. Well, we don't have those in here. A 90-degree angle. Draw me an example. Draw me an example, pretty please. Should our angle have arrows on the end of the rays? Because it extends forever and ever and ever. Are you ready for the next one? What do you think the next is going to be? Starts with an A. Acute angle. Some of you are being obtuse angles and talking while I'm giving instruction, and you're about to lose all 5 points.
I don't understand it. That's gross.
Do you need to go outside?
No, ma'am.
Because y'all keep talking, and you're about to lose all your points. All right, so what is an acute angle?
Something above 90 degrees.
Less than 90 degrees.
Oh, that's my bad. I thought it was
Draw me an example. So if right is 90, acute is less than 90, what is obtuse?
more.
But less than? Yes, take a point. So obtuse is very, very specific because we have all kinds of numbers that are more than 90. But obtuse has to be more than 90 but less than 180 because what is 180 degrees? A line. Take a point. So obtuse is more than 90 but less than 180. And what do you think I want you to do?
Drawing.
Draw an example, because in geometry we draw things. It's like a crafts class.
I just put +6 because we already got it.
Yeah. Two more words to define, and then you get your homework. Are we ready?
Yes.
So the next word that we're going to define is congruent angles. What do you think that means? What does the word congruent mean? The same measurement. So what would congruent angles be? Angles with the same measurement. So the same degree. Isn't that what we call the measure of an angle? And the last one, which we're going to get to construct tomorrow, and it's super fun, super fun, is the angle bisector. What is a bisector?
Not sure, but we bisected it.
We've defined it before.
It was any segment minus one that intersects a segment.
Yeah, so what does that mean? Take a point, Mazzara. What is the midpoint?
The mid of
The middle, right? So an angle bisector, what would it do? It would cut it in half, is all I want. An angle bisector cut it. So it is a ray that cuts the degree of an angle in half. So we have time now where you could use your protractor to do this. Your homework tonight is you're going to give me 2 congruent acute angles. And this is the symbol for angle, just in case you didn't know. And you're going to give me 2 congruent obtuse angles. And the last thing that you're going to do is an example of an angle bisector. That is your homework for tonight. Does everybody have that written down? You don't have it written down. You're just answering me because you're over there talking.